Hey y'all, how you doing? It's Friday. Woo! And it's time for news of the week. I know, trust me. I know you've been waiting with bated breath, so here goes. I had a really good week. I've been really busy. One of my side gigs has kept me real busy this week with a lot of fun work, so I've enjoyed that. And I'm getting ready for my marketplace that I do twice a year. It's coming up in a couple of weeks, so getting ready for that, and just lots going on. So it's been a good week. But let's just jump into the news. So I'm sure at some point this weekend, there's going to be some people just clutching their pearls because of the questions that TMZ asked of the Secretary of Defense. Yes, I said Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, in a news conference today. They were probably not what most reporters would have asked, but they were TMZ that was asking the questions. Now, before y'all start having a hissy fit over TMZ asking these questions, think back about 3 or 4 months ago when Mr. Hegseth cut a bunch of the media out of the briefings at the Department of Defense and sent them away because they were not worthy of being questioning people at the Secretary of Defense briefings. So he had to approve TMZ being there. So now unclutch your pearls. He did it himself. So let go. Next topic. I've been preaching to everybody for months and months that we need to fire every member of Congress and start over. Fire them all. Vote them out of office. And I also am a firm believer that it's time for a generational change in leadership. I say this to people who are younger than me all the time, that it's time for y'all to step up and start leading. You need to step up, though. I mean, there's going to be people of my generation who are wanting to stay there, but y'all need to step up and take over. Because quite frankly, the majority of people of my generation, we're tired. We're ready to give it up to y'all. But you've got to show an interest that you want to do it. Anyway, I want to give you a kind of an example of a reason that it's time for this to stop. A congressman this week from Georgia, his name is David Scott, 80 years old, seeking his 12th reelection to Congress, passed away unexpectedly, which now leaves that election complete chaos. But he's 80 years old, or was 80 years old. Maybe he should have retired, I don't know, 3 elections ago. And then I kind of started thinking of, well, what is the age of Congress? And I did a Google search, just a quick Google search, of members of Congress over 70 years old. Between the House and Senate, there's 120 that are over 70 years old. That's 20% of the Congress, House and Senate. Well, who are these people? Well, in the Senate, you've got Chuck Grassley from Iowa. Chuck's 91 years old. You got Mitch McConnell from Kentucky. Mitch is 84. Bernie Sanders of Vermont, he's 83. And Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts, Liz is 75. But let's not just keep it with the Senate. Let's look at the House, where you've got Maxine Waters from California. Maxine is 86 years old. Steny Hoyer, is 85. He's from Maryland. And James Clyburn, 84, from South Carolina. Now, this is just a real small percentage of the 120 that are over 80. I'm a firm believer that there should be term limits. However, the people who put in term limits are those same 80-year-olds that are running for re-election. You can't blame it on a generation, because every generation puts people forward to step forward and take over. So, quite frankly, if these people are being allowed to be in charge, it's our fault. It's not their fault. It's our fault. It's time we took them out. It's time we voted them out. But, unfortunately, so many of us are stuck into our own corners and afraid to come out that we keep sending these people back to Washington, D.C. So, are we going to let Stinny stay another few years? I seem to remember, what was Strom Thurmond? Wasn't he like 100? Is that old enough? We get everything we deserve when we make no changes in Congress. When we continue to send the same people up there term after term after term and expect something different, we're the idiots. It's us. If we don't vote these people out, they're not just going to automatically walk away and say, you know what, I've screwed up enough. Y'all take over. That's not happening. So, elections in November, but actually there's some prelims coming up in May. So, maybe it's time. I don't know. Y'all decide. I know what I'm doing. Speaking of what I'm doing, I plan on having a great weekend, and I hope y'all do too. We need rain. We need rain desperately in Georgia. So I'm praying for rain. But I'm also looking forward to, really hope y'all have a good weekend. Go tell your mamas and your daddies and your brothers and your sisters and your aunts and your uncles and your cousins and nephews and nieces. Tell them all you love them. Because one of these days you're going to want to be able to say it to one of them and they're not going to be here. Promise. Y'all have a great weekend. I love y'all. I love y'all so much, and I appreciate y'all listening to me. I know I just get on here and rattle away and don't make much sense sometimes, but I think if you'll just listen in a little bit, you might get a nugget that makes some sense to you. Y'all have a good weekend. Love you so much. Bye.